This is one of those stories that sounded fake at first, but the more I dug into it, the more I actually started to believe it. After nearly 11 years post-launch, The Witcher 3 may be getting brand new story DLC. And what makes this interesting isn't just a rumor from a podcast or a singular insider tweet. It's coming from a financial report, analyst projections, and CD Projekt Red's own earnings call. So today let's break down where this rumor came from, why investors think it's real, and what this DLC could actually be, and overall how it fits into CD Projekt Red's massive future plans for Witcher 4 and Cyberpunk 2. Because if this is legit, it's definitely one of the wildest late cycle DLC moves I've ever seen. The first whispers of this started circulating in Polish gaming media. A Polish industry insider claimed CD Projekt Red was working on something related to The Witcher 3, and at first most people, including me, shrugged this off, thinking that it would be something small to start the ad campaign for The Witcher 4. But when it got picked up by Eurogamer, that's when things escalated. What really added weight wasn't the insider, it was a statement from CD Projekt Red's chief of financial officer, Piotr, during an earnings call. He said that the company expects new content referenced in recent reports to potentially release within the next year and positively impact revenue targets. Now here's the key part. He didn't just name the game, he didn't say The Witcher 3 or even Cyberpunk, but the timing and what wasn't announced elsewhere is what raised eyebrows. CD Projekt Red, as expected, refused to comment on the rumors when asked directly, which is standard, but that didn't stop analysts from digging deeper. A Polish brokerage firm called Noble Securities released an investments report outlining CD Projekt Red's future pipeline, and according to their analysts, one unannounced project stands out: a paid expansion for The Witcher 3 targeting May 2026. Not a remaster, not an update, a full DLC priced around $30. Expected to sell millions of copies. Their reasoning for this is that The Witcher 3 still sells extremely well to this day. The brand is hotter than ever thanks to The Witcher 4 hype, and no thanks to whatever is left of The Witcher on Netflix. And CDPR needs a bridge release to maintain momentum before their next major launch. From a business perspective, it actually makes sense. You already have the engine as well as the assets, and you already have one of the most beloved RPGs ever made. Now let's talk about what this expansion might actually include. According to the analyst report, this DLC would act as a narrative bridge between The Witcher 3 and The Witcher 4. Not a full sequel and not Blood and Wine sized, but still substantial. A self-contained story possibly set after Blood and Wine, designed to transition the world into the next saga. And here's where speculation definitely ramps up. A final Geralt-focused story, or a playable prologue setting the stage for The Witcher 4. Or even a hybrid, something that closes one chapter while opening another. The timing also lines up with CD Projekt Red's final planned patch for The Witcher 3, which will add cross-play support for mods. This update was delayed into 2026 for vague reasons, and as you can see, that's definitely sounding a lot more interesting with the news of this potential new DLC. The analyst specifically points to May 2026, which would mark the 11th anniversary of The Witcher 3. It also lines up with the ramped up period for Witcher 4 marketing, a quieter window before GTA 6 dominates headlines. And it's also a chance to reignite interest into the Witcher brand without launching a full-on AAA title. Noble Securities estimates roughly 11 million copies sold at around $30 per expansion on modern platforms. This is a massive revenue boost for the game and CD Projekt Red. This DLC is just one piece of a very ambiguous roadmap. According to updated projections, The Witcher 4 is now expecting in late 2027, with significantly higher production and marketing budgets than the originally planned, followed by 2 more Witcher titles to complete a new trilogy within 6 years. Then there's Cyberpunk Orion, which is expected to include multiplayer and target 2030, aligning with Cyberpunk 2077's 10-year anniversary. Smaller projects like The Witcher 1 Remake, Project Cyrus, and other experimental titles have all been pushed back slightly as CDPR restructures its teams. In other words, CD Projekt Red is betting big on long-term franchises, and The Witcher 3 DLC could be the safest short-term play they have. So, is this confirmed? Not exactly, but this isn't just internet speculation either. It's coming from financial forecasts, earning calls language, and analysts whose job it is to predict what companies actually plan to ship. If The Witcher 3 really does get one last expansion in 2026, it won't just be nostalgia bait, it would be a strategic move to connect the past and future of the franchise. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if CD Projekt Red pulls this off. Let me know what you think though. Would you buy new Witcher 3 DLC in 2026? And what would you want it to focus on?